Hey guys, welcome back. It's the second installment. It's gonna be one of 10, or second of 10, excuse me. I hope you watched the earlier video. I just posted it recently, so by the time that one is read or listened to, you guys will be having a second installment. I know, right? Pretty exciting. I just want to start with a prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptations, but deliver us from evil. That is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, and ever, and ever. Amen. 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 This is an exciting time, guys. This is 2 of 10. This is the second part. I call it the second stage, a very important stage in our development here. We started off with, first, please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Please, it really helps. I read the comments and I message back here and there, but I hear them, I read them, and I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you showing up. It's important for this world right now. But, first one was, the first part was talking about finding a higher power, and find that in God, God is ever-present, and he's ever-present everywhere. God is omnipresent. He works through those that they don't even know that he's working through them. So when you start off with, doing away with everything and really going to God first and really investing in and spending time and creating that relationship, and that's the foundation that is really required, to go through the rest of this. It's not required to have I eat, sleep every second of the day, all that. No, it's having that relationship, and it's even remember when you're in your teenage years, you didn't want to talk to your parents as much as you did when you were a kid, right? You change, you've gotten different, right? But you always called your mom, right? You always called your dad, or there were times, right? Well, this is a time when we all need it the most, our Heavenly Father he does great things for a lot of us, and he has for me personally. I'm telling you, he's changed me, and it took me to really dedicate myself to him and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I need your help. And he started that foundation. He wiped everything away, and he gave me a foundation to start on. And now what we're doing is we're building on top of that foundation. And a lot of what I'm sharing can be for anyone. You could have money, you could have cars, women, all that stuff, and you don't feel fulfilled. You're still being attacked. It doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world or you're on a mat in a shelter. This will help you get back into alignment and become balanced, to maintain that balance and to keep it consistent, be consistent, and it becomes a natural mechanism for you. It really, truly does. And that first part is for some people, it's the hardest. But if you want something so bad, like you want your sanity back, you want a life where you don't have to look behind your back all the time, and you just feel like you're living on hell on earth, and a lot of people feel that, a lot of people know that, and they don't know how to do something different, how to change, and what it'll take. And I'm telling you, start there. It might not feel comfortable at first. It might not feel like I said, just comfortable. It might feel awkward. It might feel out of place and go against your beliefs sometimes. But you know where our beliefs got us? Before I came to God, my beliefs got me high in bed with women that I knew I shouldn't be with. Living in just living in squalor, man. Just living subhuman. It wasn't like that all my life, but it was like that for a good amount of time, and I was tired of living that way and just existing, just being in existence, an empty existence. So I'm just telling you, and I'm putting it out there, this worked for me. And if it worked for me, it will work for anybody who really applies themselves to this. but it takes that important first step into accepting God and just accepting a power outside yourself that you know is for your best interest. And I'm telling you, you will find God. You will find Jesus. You will gravitate to that. You know what I mean? Anyways, so we're going to go on to the second part here, guys. It's called giving up substances. And that could be any substance, man. It could be even down to an unhealthy sexual behavior you have. You know, for me, I've been celibate for over almost 5 years now, out of my own choice. I didn't run back to old relationships. I didn't try to hop into bed with the first thing walking. You know what I mean? I had to start learning how to respect myself and love myself. And when I found God and I started in that direction, that's where it was taking me. It was like, look, I love myself and respect myself. And it's funny how when I started doing that for God, you know, I started finding it for myself. You know what I mean? And that's freeing, man. Not being a slave to sexual, the sexual nature, just to dirty my energy up with anyone that would be with me, just because it was like it felt comfortable. No, it didn't feel comfortable. You know it doesn't feel comfortable. It's gratifying for a moment, but then what happens after that, guys? You know what I mean? If it be women, drugs, alcohol, you know what I mean? Foods, you know, you shouldn't be eating. You know, high cholesterol level, but you still just not loving yourself enough to just like eat a salad. You get what I'm saying, dude? I know you guys do. But we're going to go on to this. So this is the second stage, right? This is the second of 10. So giving up substances. These worldly substances like drugs and alcohol and even unhealthy sexual encounters are ways that the opposition used to weaken your spirit and keep you trapped in ways that you can be spiritually, physically, and emotionally stunted from making any substantial progress. If you're in a scenario where you're being gang-stalked, constantly being set up, and you cannot figure out where the attacks are coming from, then this is a surefire way of knowing that substances are essential if you want anything resembling a future. Basically, if you want a future and you know you can't figure out where it's coming from, you're trusting the wrong people, and you know they're using drugs, alcohol, and women to keep you trapped and keep you vulnerable and keep you coming back to places you shouldn't, so they can go back. It's basically you're going back on their radar. You know what I mean? Like if you can't figure out where all the attacks are coming from, why everybody's following you, this and that, and you're using substances, and those will get you back into sketchy situations. Sleeping with unhealthy individuals, those people talk. Those people want money. Those people want to turn on you. They essentially do, because they don't love and respect themselves. No matter how much you think, oh, they never do that. But it's funny when you leave their house, no matter how long you've been off the grid, the same sketchy people come back around after you left that house, after you talk to that person on the phone, even if it's your mom, your dad, sister, ex-wife, wife, partner. You know what I mean? Not everybody is truly faithful and honest. Not everybody. And the sooner you take out substances, alcohol, and unhealthy relationships, women, men, don't matter, you'll start coming into alignment a little bit more, and then you'll be able to really tell who's coming at you, who's not. So, here we go. From first-hand experience, I can tell you that monitoring spirits can use slander on your character to keep them pushing a narrative that you're a bad person, when the truth is that the only way you have known how to cope is by using drugs, alcohol, even worse, bed with the person you just met. The only surefire way to get back on track is by minimizing the amount of destruction people, places, or things can be to obstruct your path. If you truly want to find balance, you will wholeheartedly need to clean up your side of the street by giving up substances and prevent them from being able to. Basically, it keeps you from discerning. I'm going to go back over this again. I just kind of started rolling with it, but all that's to keep you from discerning who is who. If they can apply as much chaos into your life, usually those who are wanting to cause trouble in your life and know you're a drug addict, they'll hire on people to come into your life and give you as much drugs as you want. You go to a tavern, you hook up with a girl. They're usually planted there by the ops, right? It's just a doorway, They used to say marijuana was a gateway drug, right? Well, at this point in the game, right, every substance is a gateway into having disaster enter your life again. If the ops can create a narrative that you're a bad person, you're a drug addict, you're alcoholic, you sleep with anything that walks, even though you haven't done it for a very long time, but they're running this narrative, they'll set traps for you. They'll try to create a moment of weakness for you. This faith walk ain't no cakewalk. You have to have faith. If you sacrifice all these things that are bad for you, you're only going to get good. You're only going to get good outcomes. It might take a little bit longer because you had a lot of opposition. You had a lot of people pushing against you. A lot of people with their hand in the cookie jar. You were the walking cookie jar for them. They could create any kind of weird old narratives as long as they had enough people on board to be quote unquote witnesses, right? It's funny how the cameras come out at that time, right? So anyway, that's just the get-go there. If you truly are wanting to find balance, you will wholeheartedly need to clean up your side of the street by giving up the substances that prevent you from being able to discern what is real and what is not. The purpose of incorporating this step is to give you the ability to grow instead of wither away. Because you have been doing just that, withering for what seems like lifetime after lifetime. Are we on the same page on that one? It feels just like it'll never end, and that you want to be this flower that blossoms, but you keep withering away, and you're trying wholeheartedly, but at the moment of weakness, there just happens to be everybody and their mother trying to set you up. Usually it's spell work, witchcraft, or they got a lot of ears around, a lot of monitoring spirits that just want to be all up in your Kool-Aid. Are you done with allowing people to drink out of your Kool-Aid? Do you love yourself enough not to allow people to drink out of your Kool-Aid? Sometimes, the hardest thing to do is to give up things. But usually it's for your best benefit. I'm not joking, guys. I'm not. Okay. In order to fully see the big picture, you will need to be clear-headed and able to stand your ground in any situation. Or at least become confident when faced with a life-altering choice instead of faltering like you have so many times before, right? It's sort of like this. If you're walking down the street, you're not high, you're not drunk, you're not out looking for girls, then somebody comes at you offering you dope over and over again, and they try to get you into these cycles again, you're able to discern, you're able to prevent, you're able to detract from the whole situation and walk away a better man or better woman, don't matter. And it'll be a life-altering choice. Really, it's life-altering to say no and walk away. It leaves them with a frown instead of a smile. That you stand up and you love yourself and respect yourself so much to say no. It's kind of like the old DARE program, just say no. You know what I mean? I know it's cliche and we grew up like that and we wanted to be the big rebels and stuff, but we have no room in our lives anymore to be rebels, guys. We don't. We get in our 20s, 30s, 40s, and then we start looking back, we're like, I've got to change. And I'm telling you, you do this, you start becoming rock solid, and they can't manipulate you, they can't put you in any kind of situation that you're not prepared for. They have nothing to manipulate you with, basically. By sacrificing substance usage, you're boldly telling all those old fake friends and family that no chaos is welcomed, all without having to say anything. Your actions will speak for you. You know what I mean? You can just walk away and say, no, I don't. Think of the foundation you are building and what you are doing in this step as if you're telling the world that your life is becoming your home, and no one, I mean no one, can come into your house and try to run you out of it. Really. By sacrificing substances and addictions, you are declaring to the world that you are taking back control of your life. By having a relationship with a higher power, this step becomes easier to incorporate. You'll see how turning to God is becoming easier, and now you have a solid foundation, and your welcome mat is the second step. You know, you're telling the world, you know, I have my welcome mat. Good stuff's welcomed in my home. When you do away with substance and bad relationships and all that, you know what I mean? Old addictions and things like that. You have a welcome mat for good. You have a welcome mat for God to come in your home. That's what you're dusting that welcome mat off for God to come on in. You know, and that's why when you feel alone, you know, when you only people you ever knew were drug addicts, prostitutes, women that were just not good for you, men, you know, business partners that were not good for you, and you cut those out, and you have nothing left, but you have God. You have Jesus with you. Acknowledge him. He'll guide you to the next step. You don't have anything to prove to these old people that just want to destroy you. You have absolutely nothing to prove to them. You don't even have to talk to them. If they know that you quit drugs and alcohol and all that, and that these circumstances they try to put you in will no longer work, and nothing they can use as a crutch. You know, like there's an old saying, a drug addict, you know, when you go to a new drug dealer, first one's free. They try to get you hooked. You know what I mean? That's what it is. When you don't allow them without having to say anything, you just walk straight. No, I don't do dope. No, I don't drink. You know, I just got back from an AA meeting or something. You don't even have to say that. When they know that, you're walking down the street and you look different, dude. There's no welcome mat for them. Your welcome's like, you know, it's for God. It's for healthy things in your life, because you're building a home, a sanctuary of happiness within inside yourself, and you're projecting that to the world. All those old, good-for-nothing people and places and things, you have no room anymore for that, and you'll project it out into the world, and it's healthy. And then you'll notice, you know, when you start opening yourself up, like an open house, like come on in and see the new. It's for good people. Only, you know, the good people will come. You'll attract those people. But if you take away the substances and you have God with you, no matter what time of day, you can talk to him. You can say, hey, I had a hard day, and you know, I really want this in my life, and just talk openly with them, let them know how you're doing, stuff like that. And he's there with you, along for the ride. And he'll go before you and fight your battles for you. He'll wash away the rubbish from the street so you have a clean one to walk down. I kid you not, guys. And when you sacrifice, when you show God, the universe, you've sacrificed drugs, alcohol, unhealthy relationships for your sanity, for a good future for yourself, you're giving that energy out there, and it'll be received, and they'll give it back to you. You're sacrificing. You know how people used to sacrifice things on an altar, like living sacrifice and all that? You're that living sacrifice. You're sacrificing those things you held on to for so long, and you're letting God know, I'm willing to sacrifice this for you. Help me obtain a good life. And he'll bring that into your life for you. But you have to be consistent with it. You have to show him. You know, a lot of people give up on coming to God and to Jesus because it's not an instant thing. Do you know what I mean? Because they've been used to everything in their life so instant gratification. Some things you have to sacrifice for a good amount of time to get that back in positive things. I'm telling you, it's true. It will happen. And I'm trying to help guide you along to show you what it takes, what you have to sacrifice, and what you need to incorporate. And I'm not lying to you. It helped for me, man. I was a heroin addict, a fentanyl addict, an alcoholic. I was a womanizer. I mean, any worldly obsession you could have in the world, I had once upon a time in my life, but I haven't for a very long time. I had to put in my time. I had to do my dues for God, for this world, for this universe, to go through. You know, us chosen ones, man, we go through the hardest. What that was preparing me to come out anew and come to you. See, I was learning. I was the student. I had to go through some hard learning to come out as a teacher, to really stand in my power, to show you how to do it as well. See, I saw the belly of the freaking beast a lot. I went through a lot. But us chosen ones go through the hardest training, the hardest like Jedi training, dude, on steroids. All right? But to get to that point where you finally wise up and realize who you are and what you're supposed to be doing in this world, and that's what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this again for you guys, okay? Now that I've gone through the backstory and stuff, guys, I got interrupted there. You know, I'm just going to get back to this. Now that I've explained to you some of the backstory and stuff, you know, like I said, I've been through things, I've learned, and now I'm here to teach you and show you all. You know, some of us, we don't have, when we come to our awakening and we're in these attacks and this chaos, we don't have really people we can trust, let alone go to the internet and find our help. But I'm here. It's real. It's legit. All right? And now that I've gone through narrative and some of my backstory and what was asked and why and the reasons, I'm going to go over this again for you guys, okay? Right here. So this is giving up substances, okay? And this is why we give up substances and what the benefit is, okay? But now I've gone through that, all right? These worldly substances, like that of drugs, alcohol, even unhealthy sexual encounters, are ways that the opposition use to weaken your spirit and keep you trapped in ways that you can be spiritually, physically, and emotionally stunted from making any substantial progress. If you're in a scenario where you're being gang stalked, constantly being set up, and you cannot figure out where the attacks are coming from, then this is a surefire way of knowing that substances are essential to sacrifice. If you want anything resembling a future, you will make this sacrifice. From first-hand experience, I can tell you that monitoring spirits can use slander on your character to keep pushing a narrative that you're a bad person, when the truth is that the only way you have known how to cope is by the use of drugs, alcohol, and even worse, sharing a bed with the person you just met. Yeah, that solidifies their narrative. The only surefire way to get back on track is by minimizing the amount of destruction people, places, or things can be used to obstruct your path. If you truly are wanting to find balance, you will wholeheartedly need to clean up your side of the street by giving up the substances that prevent you from being able to discern what is real and what is not. The purpose of incorporating this step is to give you the ability to grow instead of wither away, because you know you have been doing just that, withering for what seems like lifetime after lifetime. In order to fully see the big picture, you will need to be clear-headed and able to stand your ground in any situation, or at least become confident when faced with a life-altering choice instead of faltering like you have so many times before. By sacrificing substance usage, you are boldly telling all those old fake friends and family that no chaos is welcomed, all without having to say anything. Your actions will speak for you. Think of the foundation you are building and what you are doing in this step as if you're telling the world that your life is becoming your home, and no one, I mean no one, can come into your house and try to run you out of it. By sacrificing substances and addictions, you're declaring to the world that you're taking back control of your life. By having a relationship with higher power, this step is easier to incorporate. You will see how turning to God is becoming easier, and now you have a solid foundation, and your welcome mat is the second step. You get it, guys? I know you do. I know you guys are smart. I know you guys have been just wanting help and focus and finding others like yourself. You know, it's hard to be balanced. A lot of us want retribution. A lot of us want tit for tat, eye for eye, all that. And God is the one who gives that. All right? You know, God, God just really wants us to become as balanced as possible so that future attacks, future things cannot set you off keel. You know what I mean? When you don't give that energy back, when you don't tit for tat, you take that power away from the opposition. They can lie all day long, but as long as you're legit, authentic, balanced all the time, you're good. You're good. That stuff will, it'll fade away. It'll drip off like condensation on a mug. Really, you know what I mean? And you won't have to give that back because you're projecting out to the world that all that negative, everything that they built you into they built that prototype built off something that was false. That's not you, and they've done their best to try to create the problem, try to create this scenario. You're smarter than that, and it's not like you're trying to create the scenario by speaking into existence. No, you're nipping it in the bud. It won't ever be able to come to fruition for them. It won't, because you've thought ahead by becoming balanced. Like I said earlier, it's like one here, and this is the worst you can be, and this is the best you can be. You can't be this all the time, and eventually, as the candle burns at both ends, it'll get to the middle, and finally you'll get there, and you'll learn how to not just survive, it'll be living, and then you won't have to go back here anymore. You'll be here, and you'll be able to find your way back to this. But even if you were to fall back again, you won't. You'll be able to stay balanced in any situation. You know what I mean? A lot of these people that come at you, they know a God, but they don't believe and have faith in God. Get what I'm saying? When people are attacking you and trying to send evil your way and trying to paint you into a picture that you're not, when you have God, you don't need to prove people wrong. God will prove them wrong for you. You just have to be. And I'm trying to show you how to be balanced. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect at all. No, you'll be balanced, and life becomes easier for you. You know, these aren't all easy steps. These aren't easy steps. No, it takes a lot of sacrificing, but these steps are asking you to sacrifice things that are unhealthy for you. They're not, and you'll see how unhealthy they are for you, and how the chaos was created by a lot of them, or was prolonged because of a lot of them. So now that you have the foundation of God, right, your higher power, you have the foundation, and you can grow more and more in that. You'll grow along the way. You know, it'll show up more and more as long as you go down your path. And then with, sacrificing drugs and alcohol and bad people, bad relationships, sexual encounters and stuff like that, they can't weaken your spirit. You know how people become attacked or susceptible to witchcraft and harm, you know what I mean, in the spiritual realm, is when they're weak in the spirit, when they use drugs, and even if it's marijuana, it weakens your spirit. You become susceptible to spiritual attacks. You really do, and women, like you'll have women who come with, or men, doesn't matter who you're with, comes with negative energies, bad energies, and they'll send in attachments along with that person. The ops will to attach to your energy. You know what I mean? And because I've been obstinate. I've been celibate for a long time. It's because I had a lot of attachments, a lot of sexual attachments that people were trying to put on me. Darn near trying to introduce AIDS and HIV to me as well. I know it. If I hadn't been celibate at the time and would have been weak in the spirit, I would have contracted HIV or something. That's how far down, that's how they really wanted me to be out of this world, was to attract some nasty viruses. But since God had prepared me and I'd been in a walk with Him, and I was prepared. You know what I mean? I suggest, me personally, I suggest if you're not in a relationship, you're not in a long-term relationship with a woman you can't, you can trust, or anybody you can trust, I suggest doing that because you'll come up against opposition that wants to give you certain sexual things and stuff like that. So whoever would try to come in your life after that, that's good for you. They can say, hey, he's got HIV, or she's got HIV, she's got these weird things, she's got attachments, and they'll stay away from you. You know what I mean? So plus when you're celibate, you're obstinate, you will attract the right relationship to you. God will bring your kingdom spouse. He will bring you your true soulmate, your true twin flame. Oh, if anybody believes that, He'll bring your true one in. No matter what, whatever dream relationship you wanted that was healthiest for you, He'll rein that in because you are showing Him that you are willing to sacrifice those things that are unhealthy for you, and you'll be able to honor that. You'll be able to represent that to the fullest extent and honor it, really honor it and cherish it. Don't covet it, but you will cherish it. You will honor it and respect it for what it is. That's the beauty of sacrificing unhealthy things, is that you're telling the universe, you're telling God that I want to receive good, healthy things. See, now that you have that relationship with God, and you have that communication, that openness, then what you ask for and you're willing to sacrifice, He will give you. See how that works? It's beautiful. It's working in tandem. Ooh, I'm telling you, it's real. It's legit. It's legit, people. And you'll see as we go further along. This is only the second of 10 people. So stay tuned and like, subscribe, smash it all. Do it up. We get this out in this world. We can save people. We can activate people. We can get people going down the right path. They can find their bearings. They can find productivity, and find that relationship they know they've always wanted, and they'll find their empowerment. They'll find their self-worth. It's beauty. When you find out what you're worth, ooh, I'm telling you, when you find your worth, no amount of money will want you to go back to what you were doing. I'm serious, guys, for real. So thank you for tuning in, guys. I wish the best for all those who are really bringing this positive energy into the world. Of real light. That's not just a catchphrase. Love, real light, just real light, and happiness, derivative of all that. I want you to be in that. I want you to be in that. I want you to have that faith and that everything's going to be okay, and that whatever comes your way and it's from the opposition, you can deal with it. You don't have to feed into it. You don't have to prove anything to those people. You have nothing to prove to anyone but God. And if you're in alignment with Him, you've already proven what you needed to for Him, and He's already got your path lined for you. You just need to walk it. You get what I'm saying, guys? I know it. So thank you for showing up. And be there for other people, man. I can't say it enough. It's to be as selfless as possible. It might seem, selfish at times, that you want to want what you have to say out to the world, but it's really out of selflessness. You're here to help as many people as possible. The ones who tune into this here channel, the ones who really put in work and really have seen the taste of what light can bring you. Yeah, guys, the face walk ain't no cakewalk, but I'm telling you, it'll give you everything you ever wanted without having to sell yourself out. All right, guys, take care. God bless. Praise Jesus.